Hello, everybody. It's a pretty exciting time for some of you out there because you're going to be able to get your hands on a brand new legendary attack champion. You might have seen the trailer or seen some posts about this online. Question is Leminisi, the Gold Wing, a good champion? Is she worth building? Well, you're probably seeing a lot of comments online saying that she's just kind of not that good and she deserves to go in the vault. Well, I've got some opinions that are a bit different to that, and I think Leminisi, for a lot of players, is going to be quite useful, and I'll explain why in this video. Now, before we do, quick heads up that if you want to start a brand new account and get an even more powerful legendary, then use the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description. You get all of these champions as you level up and the choice between one of these legendary champs. So if you want a really good legendary champion like Sun Wukong, then now's the time to do it. But if you are an existing player already, then you won't be able to get access to these new player stuff, right? So this is where an event like this comes into play. So we've got a Leminisi Chase event, and it's a very, very simple event. I'll explain what it is, how to deal with it, and then we'll take a look at the abilities and why I think Leminisi could actually be quite good for some players. So you basically just log in. Every day, you log in and you click a button. We're getting 5-star... savage items here. Then day 3 to 6 you get 6-star savage. The gear that you get here is just randomized, so you might get some pretty terrible stuff if you are unlucky, you know, but it's a nice starter set to put her on to begin with. And then on day 7, after logging in for 7 days, you'll get the actual champion herself. And then if you keep logging in 8 days till 14 days, you'll get more rewards, including a perfect soul, a 2-star perfect soul for her. And then it goes into phase 2, where you've actually got to be a little bit more active or you're going to miss out on some rewards. Every single day, you're going to be able to earn a certain amount of flags. I think it's 75 per day. So you're going to need to log on every day, complete these challenges to get the flags, and then at that point, you will be able to get more progress on these rewards. But you really need to be active and make sure you log in and get this completed. So phase 1, you just log into the game, press a button. Phase 2, which will be in, 14 days from now, you're going to need to just make sure you complete these. Don't miss out on this, because this is where Leminisi is going to get pretty good for most players. And I'll explain why. So if you complete all of these, you will get a total of 5 perfect souls. So we got 2 here. Sorry, 2 souls, and then there's a split soul here for the 3rd one, a split soul here for the 4th, and a split soul here for the 5th. Souls make a big difference on the power of your champion, and for most players, getting souls is not easy. It's all down to luck or just grinding like crazy to build up enough of the essence to go and buy a soul when it appears in the soul merchant. That is a very, very long-term sort of thing to work towards. So for most players, you are not going to be able to get your hands on many souls. And that means your champions may not be that powerful. It may not even matter how much, whatever their abilities do, right? If you don't have a fully kitted out champion in terms of their skills, fully booked out, their masteries, and also having souls, you're losing out on a lot of power. Here's a great example. I've got 3 support champions to the legendary that I've spent a lot of time building up with the best gear that I can. The power rating of both of these are pretty low. I could probably do with putting up Queen of Hearts' gear, but, you know, I've started to book up Queen of Hearts a little bit. I've got almost max masteries, and then if we go to Cardial, we've got max masteries there, besides 1 more skill, and we've fully booked him up. And Cardio is an amazing support. The game says he's got a power rating of 53,000. And then we have Ilex Arta, who, in every sense of the word, is a worse champion. Like, he's pretty good. He is pretty good. But Cardio was very, very highly rated and well regarded in the raid community. Ilex Arta, a lot of people were just saying, well, he's not really that great. He's not worth putting the time into. He's just going to be a vault champion. And I thought, okay, then I won't really use him much. But because I got just 3 perfect souls for him during the event that he was out, I was able to get him to the point where he's got a 68,000 power rating. And in terms of actual gameplay, that means he's going to provide more value to me than any other support that I have, really. Cardio's abilities overall do provide more value in fights. But now I've got both of these support champions that I can use in most areas of gameplay, including Clan Boss, in Arena, and so many other places, right? And he's powerful because I've got these souls on him. So Leminisi might not have the best abilities for endgame content, but it must be said that being able to get a 5-star soul on Leminisi is going to be really good. And a good example of this is, a lot of people always say Wukong is better than Alice, right? He's like the best champion you should go for, and you can get him with a beginner promo code when you first start out. Same with Alice, but most people say Wukong is better. But Wukong, which I've tried very hard to build well, I'm still working on it. I'm still going back and forth between different gear sets and trying to make it work. I spend a lot of time and silver trying to make this the best I can, but he's pretty bad for me personally. His power is just not that great. I've almost fully booked him. We've maxed out his masteries. But I decided to put more of my attention on Alice, because Alice for me was doing more damage and just being more of a powerhouse. And I think it's really down to the fact that I've got 5-star soul for her, because she was a chase champion when I started playing on this account. So I have an Alice with a 5-star soul, and the power difference between these two is ridiculous. So this is the difference between a 5-star perfect soul champion and a champion with no souls. It really does make quite a big difference. And if we go here, we can see the blessing. We get all of these extra stats because of the souls, which is pretty amazing, right? So even if Leminisi doesn't have the best abilities herself, she's still going to provide value to you if you're a early to mid game player, especially if you're an early game player. And it's quite, the writing's on the wall here. The fact that these are 2 5-star items really goes to show what this chase event is really about. It's not for the end game players. This is for players to finally get their hands on a champion that you can basically fully kit out. You can fully max them out up to 5-star perfect soul, which I think is just absolutely amazing. Obviously, it's not 6 stars, but yeah, they never do that. So let's take a look at Leminisi herself and her abilities. So she's a Sylvan Watcher, so if you don't have a legendary attack champ there, then that could be useful as well. Her aura is increased ally attack in all battles by 25%. You don't really often use that aura anyway, but when you do, it is a bit of a shame it's a 25%. For Tholin and Alice also have this, and theirs is a 30%. Big shame there on the aura, can't deny it. Her main attack attacks one enemy 2 times. If the target is under a shield buff, each hit has a 25% chance of decreasing the value of the shield by 10%. We'll also ignore 50% of the target's resistance if the target is from the Corrupted Alliance. If the target is not under any shield buffs, each hit will ignore 10% of the target's defense instead. It's okay. It's not the best A1. Honestly, it's not great, but it will do some damage. A2 attacks on enemies 2 times. Each hit will have a 100% chance of removing 2 random buffs from the target. We'll also ignore 15% of the target's resistance if the target is from the Corrupted Alliance again. This skill deals more damage equal to the value of the target's current turn meter. So this is a debuffer here, which is quite nice. 2 random buffs, can't complain. Pretty okay, A2. And as you get it up, you're going to increase the damage and reduce the cooldown. Then the A3 attacks all enemies 2 times, which is a nice potential damage option for in arena, all sorts of play. If you build up her attack stats enough, she could be a bit of a nuker. The first hit has a 75% chance of placing a 100% heal reduction debuff, which is going to be really useful in a lot of areas. The second hit has a 50% chance of placing a block buffs debuff, which is pretty good as well. And once again, ignores 50% of the target's resistance if the target is from the Corrupted Alliance. And then, if you ascend her to level 3, receives 15% less damage from enemies under heal reduction debuffs, which, you know, she can do. So that is pretty interesting. So she can debuff them and then take 15% less damage, and fills his champion's turn meter by 5% whenever an enemy receives a shield buff or is healed. So, you know, not the best kit, but you can definitely make her work in most areas of gameplay, and she's going to be more powerful than most of your other champions in the game right now if you fully get all of the souls for her. So definitely consider that if you're a mid to early game player. Hopefully you found this video interesting, and now you might be a little bit more excited about Leminisi. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the comments.